Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Storm and I am here today with a replay between OpTiK'Scary and QuanticSTC. This was a ladder game, I believe. It was just sent to me by Scary on drop.sc, and I said that I would cast it for him, and I wanted the first time I casted it to, or rather I wanted the time that I casted it to be the first time that I watched it. So I did have a little bit of sound issues, which have hopefully been resolved. And I haven't watched it fully. I just watched like the first 30 seconds, so I'm actually further than I've ever been. So both players just giving some good luck, have fun. Scary, a little starstruck maybe, saying hi STC. Happy that he can play people at this level now. So we see a depot going down by STC, possibly going to go for the Whaaa expand. I mean, I'm just blindly guessing here. We can't tell off of this yet. We do know that he's not going for a proxy 1111 because he would have sent an SCV by then. So we'll see if he throws down a gas by 13. I actually have seen, if you've watched Seo Hyun, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. He's on Team Light. He's a Korean Terran player. He actually will go for some weird builds where he'll like look like he's going for a 1x expand when the scout looks, and then he'll go for a gas right after. But I've seen him primarily do that in Terran vs Protoss. So we'll see if maybe QuanticSTC is going to do something that's maybe a little bit involved with gas early on or not. It doesn't look like it throwing down a 13 geyser, so possibly going for the 1x expand. I'm just guessing that's what he's wanting to do. That's very, very, very common right now in the current metagame of TVZ. So we have Scary going for a 16 hatchery, also common. So both players playing a very standard game so far. This isn't for a tournament, so there's no results to spoil unless I just told you the winner, but I don't know myself. So we'll see how this goes. Actually, I'm lying. I do know who the winner is. But hopefully it'll be a good game, even though I know it, and I won't spoil anything. So we see the Overlord going out here. I thought that was a Marine for a second. I was like, wow, that's going to be crazy, getting a Marine out that early and being able to kill the Overlord. Normally the Overlord goes right here. It can also go here, and this is actually a really good spot as well because it can check for the natural or anything like that, which we do see QuanticSTC throwing down that natural expansion. Possibly going to be throwing it up with two refineries immediately afterwards. Well, after the depot, of course. But going to get the fast geysers and then go for the Hellion. For the Hellion and bench opening. So Scary's saying fly away because he doesn't want to lose that Overlord. STC saying wait up. I do that too as well. I asked them to leave their Overlords and send it back to me. I've actually had Zerg players do it when I asked them, and it's actually pretty hilarious. But just some good manners, good clean fun here so far between these two players. So STC going in for a quick scout, going to check and see if there's any Vesping or for any extractors here for the Zerg player. Actually, pretty well. I don't know if it's necessarily common at this level, but a common build I've seen is getting the gases pretty early on after getting the pull down, and going for that Lysira Baneling bust. Very, very strong build. But Scary actually going for the gas later on. Players have been kind of mixing it up now. Zerg has. It was for a while. It was becoming just straight up infestors, and that's all it was infestor-based play. And earlier, beyond that, it was a Mutal Bling Ling style, and now it's kind of actually a mixture. It's just a personal preference. Zergs can do both styles very, very well, and they're both efficient as long as you can make them. I feel like the Ling Baneling Muta style is a little bit harder because it requires more micromanagement than infestors do. But both styles are still hard to pull off. But that's just my own personal feeling. I like to go for a Muta Bling Ling style because I can actually play faster than a lot of people. So I think it fits my playstyle more. Infestors are funner to use though when you get a good fungal growth on. It feels very, very good. So regardless, we do see a starport being thrown down here. A little bit to the right. If there was a second Overlord, he could actually scout this a little bit easier. Placement, I'm not going to worry about too much. I mean, that way Lings can't see it, and he's just trying to keep it away from the Overlord, maybe on the left. Maybe the second Overlord comes out at a later time, so he feels safe to do this. So we do see STCs very, very smartly checking with that SCV initially that he scouted with for the third base. Doesn't see it up. Tries to get into the natural. There is no second gas, and I'm going to quickly check on his vision to see if he could see that. Yes, he does. Complete. So he doesn't see a gas over there, so that's good. He knows that there's no, two-base infestor play coming on. Now we see double gas here by Scary before the third, so we'll see what Scary's style is going to be here. I'm not sure exactly how this plays out. I've never actually seen this, unless he's going for the 2-base Mutalisk. The lair is actually done, and we have a Roach Warren with the speed upgrade. I don't know how to pronounce that. Glial Reconstitution, I'm guessing. I don't know. You guys can make fun of me all you want. So, QuanticSTC, I called him STD, it's okay. Getting a little depot wall going on, no bunker, you know. Feeling safe to not get a bunker because he scouted that no gas. Putting on a little bit of pressure, but did he see the roaches? I'm not sure. I wish I would have checked the vision there, but just backing out, not being able to do too much damage, and actually throwing down a reactor here on this factory. Normally I see a lot of players going for the tech lab on the factory to get early tanks on, but we'll see what he plans on doing here. He's actually throwing down 2 barracks. I really like this. He's going to switch out the starport and the factory, and then that way he does have the tech lab done, and he has the reactor here, and he has a reactor here. So very, very cool stuff. I haven't seen that before. So the Banshee's going to try and do a little bit of harassment. We'll see, does Scary have some spore crawlers up? No, he does not, but he can probably get those up once he sees the Banshee. We do see that Spire being thrown down at about 8 minutes and 30 seconds, so at 10 minutes we can see some Mutalisk pressure, which is very cool. Hellions trying to run into the natural, but being greeted by the roaches. Overseer standing over by the Queen is going to be able to kill off that Banshee. Banshee not doing too much damage, if any at all. Didn't pay for itself, which is not good. Roach is now going to try and do a lot of damage. Wow, I'm going to be very, very shocked if STC is going to be able to hold this off. I mean, if Scary just goes in to try and do as much damage as he can, there's like no Marauders at all. There's 1 Marauder out on the field for STC. Some of the Roaches are now doing a little bust of their own. Banshee trying to fight and do as much damage as they can. The SCVs are repairing, trying to keep that wall up as long as possible, keep the bunkers up. Wow, very, very good repair, very imbust. Just kidding, the bunker does go down, and look at that, a burrow by Scary. And now we see 2 Mutalisks on the way. Game sounds feel a little bit loud to me, but we'll deal with it. So the Marine's trying to do as much damage. The Roaches do unburrow. Banshee trying to target fire and kill as much Roaches as they can. There is a scan going down. The Roaches are actually going to go back home. I feel like he could have done a lot of damage. Well, I guess there are a few Marauders out now, so it was a good call. Well, actually deciding to go back here. Not sure what he's planning on doing with those, but we'll see. The Mutalisk doing a little bit of harassment at the main, now forcing STC to get a turret. And I really like this play because it contains STC on 2 bases. STC can't take 2 bases at all. He's just contained back at home. And Scary is safe to get his own third up. So the Marauders and Marines trying to push out, but are greeted by Mutalisks and Roaches. Scary overextending just a little bit. Now burrowing, and STC is going to scan and kill off as many Roaches as he possibly can. Unit counting station shows 4 Marauders, 15 Marines to 9 Roaches and 6 Mutalisks. So this style is actually very interesting by Scary. I've never seen it before. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. Like, this game is very interesting. I can learn a little bit from it. So the Banshee cloaked and trying to do as much damage to the Roaches as they possibly can. We'll see where that Overseer is so that the Mutalisk can be able to clean that up. But QuanticSTC is now trying to contain the Zerg, push him back. Not a lot of creep spread from the Zerg, honestly. I would have liked to have seen some creep spread going out so he can know exactly where the army is, get some good flanks in, especially now that he has that Roach speed and no Zergling speed. So creep would be very, very vital with this kind of style. The Overlords do have speed, however. It is going to be killed off by the Banshee. Banshee does not have cloak anymore. No more energy for that. Looks like STC is going to be heading to the third. Scary does have to defend this third to keep that advantage going that he made earlier. We do have the third being started for the Terran player. STC is not going to be able to engage on this. Instead is going to have to back out. We do see an engagement. Zergling speed just now finishing. The Mutalisk trying to do what they can with the Roaches. A lot of Marines here, though. The Mutalisk are going to have to back out. Roaches are going to be able to clean this up, however. And there we go. Looks like STC is forced to go back home. There are 2 medevacs here. It would have been cool if they were loaded up, but I don't feel like he has a lot of units to be able to afford that. Banshee doing as much damage. Mutalisk deciding, no, I will go ahead and let the Banshee kill off my Roaches. That's completely fine. And now deciding to pull back, and the Banshee may be able to get away. Nope, it looks like STC accidentally stopping the Banshee, not controlling that properly, but that's okay. He has a lot of stuff going on back home. Now making an orbital command for his third. It's extended out a little bit far. We do have a siege tank here, though, to try and help defend, but Mutalisk could be able to clean that. The Marine count for STC is actually... Oh, there we go. It's a lot higher than I thought. We do have an Overlord here for Scary. Now creep spreading at the... I guess natural third of where the Terran would like to take his third. Alternatively, he could take it here. It's just harder to defend that location. He could take it here as well, which is actually quite popular as well. STC doing a good job keeping the Xel'Naga towers. Scary only keeping the one over at his base, but the Marines pushing back, forcing the Mutalisk back. So STC going to keep that tower as long as he possibly can. The orbital command trying to float over here is going to see the creep. It's going to force these units back to kill the Overlord, and maybe even force a reposition of the third itself. Maybe not, we'll see. But creep takes so long to decide. If I remember, it's like 60 seconds or 120 seconds, something like that. Very, very long time. I could be completely wrong too. Again, no creep spread for the Zerg. Something I would really like to see Scary kind of improve on there. Just some creep spread going out so he can have more map control and being able to run around on those to have faster movement and not lose to any type of counterattacks or anything like that. It's not even connecting to his third all the way. So we see Hive Tech actually coming out now here for Scary. It's actually pretty standard timing. I mean, maybe I don't know if it's a little bit delayed or not. Let's look at the Harvester count, though. I feel like the drones are low. It's actually 69 to 67. Terran is a little bit ahead in Harvester count, not too far ahead. What was the income tabs? You can see, though, the Mule's making a big difference, and now he's about 4 ahead. So Scary behind a little bit on Harvesters, but that's okay. He does have Banelings with speed now. Going to head towards that Xel'Naga tower. He does have some changelings here. That's very, very cute. The Marines are going to stim forward. Very, very low Marine count. Scary should be able to fight this. There he goes. Now deciding to pull back. Surrounding. Great surround on the Marines. Baneling's going to do as much damage. Great pickup by STC. Hot pickup achievement has been awarded. The third base is now up and running for STC. A little bit of saturation on it as well. But there is a drop coming here at the third base for Scary. Scary's units are out of position. There are some Spine Crawlers trying to come up, but one Spine Crawler does go down. Only one Spine Crawler remaining. However, there are 3 Queens here with Transfuse Micro, but nope, just kidding. Deciding not to do that, losing 2 Queens. Picking up the dropship, gonna lose the dropship to that last Queen there. But did some pretty decent damage there, losing a Spine Crawler and 2 Queens. Very detrimental for Scary. But he did lose a full medevac, so I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit more in STC's favor, but losing Queens is kind of important. I don't know. I don't know what to... You make your best judgment on that one. We do have an Ultralist Cavern being thrown down by Scary. Scary now pushing towards that Xel'Naga tower yet again. Quickly going to check and see, does he know that the Terran does have his third up? Yes, he does. And there's a drop coming over here at the main. Great job by STC. Keeping very active with those drops, forcing the drones back. Ling's going to now come back and trying to deal with this. But again, hot pickup achievement awarded. Just lifting off immediately. Actually going to decide to pull back. And there's a Mutalist there to do as much damage as he possibly can. Although there are only 2 Mutalists. But doing quite a bit of damage actually, so forcing STC to drop on the army, but not paying attention to that. Instead, he's going to push down to this base down here at the 6 o'clock position. Yeah, I mean, we do see some Lings, Banelings, and Roaches here for Scary, but no Infestors, notably. Like, there's no Infestors at all. He's going and getting 5 Ultralists now. Looks like STC was checking for a base down here, but unfortunately he decided to take his up here and is now going to be pushing forward. We do see a scan and a stem forward. Going to try and do as much damage so that the Zerg cannot get those bases up to for the Ultralists, but they're already out. Now trying to split around. Siege tanks have a great siege up. Not target firing the Banelings, however, so losing a lot of Marines to the Banelings. Now the Ultralists are out. The Roaches now dominating their way forward, trying to pick up, lifting up 1 medevac. The Mutalist trying to do as much damage as they can. Scary is actually going out of position while this one drop is going to try and do what it can, but there is a Spine Crawler there. However, it's going to be able to do a lot of Harvester kills. We do see 3-3 for both players coming out, and now Scary's looking at a great position. We look at the supplies, it's actually maxed army versus a 150 supply army. The drop now target firing the Queen. The Queen did get an inject off before dying, but losing yet another Queen to that dropship over there. So we now see Scary throwing down a Spore Crawler, Medevac trying to load back up, actually not able to load any of the Marines back up, and it is unfortunately going to die to the Mutalisk. The army is trying to chase it off, but there's nothing in it regardless. STC scanning the Zedlonga Tower to see if he's safe to push out here, and he is. Leaving the tanks back at home, only sending a Marine Marauder force with Medevacs to the same position as he did previously. And again, I want to reemphasize, like, there is no creep spread at all for the Zerg. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but I really would like to see it, Scary. I'd really like to see it. So we do see a Greater Spire being thrown down here, and a 4th base now being floated over for STC. No supply for the Broodlords yet, but eventually he can start tech switching into that. The Ultras now going in. Siege tanks trying to siege up, but the Ultras are going to be able to take all the damage, so the siege tanks are effectively worthless. The Bandits now coming in, being able to clean up that Bio army very, very, very easily. Scary now is instantly remaxed on Lings and Corruptors, and eventually is going to be trading into Broodlords. We do have a dropship being loaded up, now going to be running over to that same base where he lost the Queens multiple times. The Spinecrawlers and Spores repositioning themselves, more Spinecrawlers trying to be thrown up. The dropship is unloading, but unfortunately for STC, the Ling reinforcements will be able to clean that up. Now the Ultras going towards the, what is that, 5th base, maybe 4th base of the STC. Ultras again taking all of the tank fire damage. Roaches and Lings are just going to try and clean up the bio support. However, there are a few Marauders here fighting at a pretty good choke, and Siege tanks sieging up, but I feel like Scary's forces are just too big to deal with the STC. STC finding a good spots, but again, his army is just so small compared to Scary's. But if we look at the supplies, look at Scary just dropping in supply. Now is forced to back out. Great hold there by STC, but unfortunately losing that planetary fortress. The 4th base is up here for STC. No saturation quite yet, but it has completed. But again, now we can see some Broodlord transitions now that he's forced the Terran to go for a Marauder-based army. No Vikings are being produced by STC, and killing that 5th base right there for STC as well. Very detrimental, because right now if we look here, we only have 2 bases being mined for STC. We have one, it's about 2 actually for the same for the Zerg. But now we see Broodlords are on the way. Unit counting station, we have 4 Broodlords done, and about 4 more morphing in, going to a total of 8. The Bioforce trying to push forward. Again, Ultra is taking the damage for the Siege tank, so that the Zerglings can help clean up the Bioforce. Now the Broodlords have completed, now pushing forward their way. But I guess towards to the Siege tanks to kill off the Siege tanks with the Broodlings. It's going to force STC to unsiege, load up, and get away, because there are no Corruptors. We'll have to remember that. So now we see some Viking production by STC. But playing reactive against Broodlords, against Zerg, is just not going to work. He's just going to fall slowly. So we see Scary now pushing forward with Zerglings to the Zedlonga Tower, seeing that the Orbital Command has been lifted off over to the 5th base. Going to force that to lift off, because he is not going to be able to defend that. Going to have to go back home. The Link now is just going to fight, because you can see STC's army dwindling and dwindling, but the Siege tank sieging up. Oh, sorry, I forgot to set Skype on D&D. So anyways, we see the Siege tank sieging up. QuanticSTC is doing a good job with his engagement. Again, not many Corruptors. There's only like 2 Corruptors out now, but there are only 2 Vikings as well. Scary is going to have to be a little bit careful because of those Siege tanks. Again, STC doing a great job with holding, but Scary is just going to reposition himself and go straight for that 4th base of STC. It is a planetary fortress, so the Zerglings are not going to be able to fight it. He is going to have to use the Broodlords to be able to fight that. But again, the Corruptor count is actually now at a higher amount, but there's a lot of SCVs over here to be able to repair. It's going to take a very long time for Scary to be able to kill it off, and STC will be able to reposition himself. We see the Vikings and Bioforces coming up, and now being surrounded by the Broodlings. The Zerglings still fighting at the planetary fortress, though. Now they are being pulled very, very low on the Zergling count. However, there's just so many Corruptors and Broodlords and not enough Vikings that I feel like Scary should be able to fight this off. But there are a lot of Marines. The Marines trying to stem forward, target fire the Broodlords. The Broodlords are going down, but not enough. The Marines started to not target fire. There they go. Unfortunately, not target firing. I think if he would have target fired a little bit earlier, this would have looked a lot different, but more Ultralids now on the way for Scary, just tech switching all over the place, not taking any extra bases. There was a drop over here that I missed. Very sorry for that, but the Ultralids are going to be able to clean that up, so not much to tell here. The Ultralids and Broodlords now fighting at that planetary fortress, because again, that's like one of the only mining bases. That one is mining, and SCC trying to take that one. He needs it very, very badly. repairing as best as he possibly can. I don't think there's enough forces to be able to kill this off. The Lings are going to try and come up here and reinforce, but honestly throwing the Lings away. But I guess if the Planetary Fortress are target firing the Ultralisk, he should be alright. Maybe the Lings can do enough DPS. We do have Infestors now out for Scary for the first time at 20 minutes into the game, 25 minutes rather. Getting a good fungal growth there. Ultralisk trying to do as much damage as it possibly can, but it does fall. That base does indeed go down, and this base is an orbital command, not a planetary fortress, so STC is going to have a very, very difficult time holding that off. The Marauders trying to kill off the Infestors, but unfortunately not able to do that. Getting fungal growth. The T-Change trying to do as much damage as they possibly can, but the Ultralisk just tank that damage, man. But it's a very good position here for STC to be fighting in, but right now he just doesn't have the economy to be able to hold off the Zerg forces and tech switches. We do see some Lings now being sent in, trying to end it. Scary just wants to end this game, floating 1k minerals so he can just keep going, and not necessarily floating, but banking rather, to keep going into Zerglings. But doesn't have enough gas. Now we see 24 more Lings on the way here. This 5th base is still available for STC, but it is not saturated at all. Possibly going to be transferring some SCVs over there. The SCV count, let's look quickly. We have 60 Harvesters to 31. So yeah, again, STC's economy has just been dwindled down by the Zerg. I mean, the Zerg just been trying to starve STC, basically, and doing a very, very good job of it. Some of the trades I would say are a bit more favorable for STC. And I would really like to see the Zerg taking this base and like getting an economy so he can keep doing these tech switches over and over and over, but instead he's running out of gas. But he's just going to keep going with it with what he can. Like he's trying to kite through the Corruptors, but not able to do that, unfortunately. The orbital command is going to go down, possibly, but there is a high Marauder count here as well. But once the Infestors get here, fungal growth, but overextending the Infestors, losing one Infestor to the Marauders, but a good fungal growth going down. Zergling's now going to be able to clean that up. No tanks on this high ground finally for STC. STC just cannot afford it. Forced to lift off that orbital command. Scary is not going to decide to actually fight that, although he could with fungal growths. Let's see if he has the energy for that. Unfortunately, no, he does not. So he's just going to have to keep doing as much damage to the orbital command as he can, backing up, and just basically not allowing it to mine at all. So STC fighting at that good position yet again. Again, no SCVs over here. You just can't defend this base. And Scary wisely burrowing some of the Lings to block that expansion from coming back up. More forces here for Scary. Look at the supplies. I mean, literally double. Well, not literally, sorry. But it is double of the STC. And again, no more bases for Zerg. Zerg decided that he does not want any more bases other than 4, because more than that is too difficult. So STC trying to get that 5th base mining up, now making more SCVs, and now actually deciding to transfer. Decides, you know what, I have no other choice. Now we see Scary deciding to take a 5th base. Very, very cool stuff. And supplies, again, 91 to 154. Feel like Zerg is just so far ahead that it's almost impossible for him to lose. STC now trying to push forward. Wow, great engagement by Scary, but actually deciding not to engage with it. Needs the Infestors to fungal though, if he wishes to be able to win that engagement. But STC wisely running back to his favorite position. And now we see the Lings trying to surround that 5th base. Lings now getting a few more Marauder kills, and the Infestors do have full energy, so they are going to get a great fungal growth there. Not enough medevacs to support this, so we can see the Bioforces slowly dwindling. Great split by STC, but unfortunately just not enough. The Ultralists are now going to be coming in here and just slowly dwindling down the army of the STC. The barracks are now going down, the production going down. STC 51 supply, trying to do his last stand. We do have a drop over here to be able to deny that 5th base. So Scary not able to do that. We're going to have to pull some Infestors back home. And we do see a barrack or a bugster going down by the Ultralisk, and now this orbital command is forced to lift off. More Lings sent by Scary to help reinforce. Slowly losing the economy of his own for these drops. I mean, he's not able to take any of the bases. I'm wondering if drops were the case, and I just missed it, unfortunately. If I did that, I'm very, very sorry, guys. You probably noticed that, and I didn't. So my apologies if that was the case. So we have the 5th base by STC trying to come up yet again, forced to pull back home. Getting a great burrow here with the Ling to deny that even further. Only a handful of Marines. Looks like a unit counting station. We have 10 Marines, 3 medevacs. That is the entire force of STC. We have 8 Ultralists, 7 Infestors, and 38, what am I trying to say here? Zerglings. I feel like Scary could probably win by sending his drones if he wanted. I mean, the army is just so small for STC. Honestly, probably couldn't, but I mean, when you have more drones than Marines, I think you're at a really good spot. So we see Scary long distance mining, and there's the GG by STC. A great game by Scary. Some things I would like to have seen more is some creep spread, obviously. I mentioned that multiple times, and maybe taking these bases faster, maybe getting some spine crawlers up. Because right here, as you can see, he has a lot of drones. Being able to transfer those into spine crawlers, although it was a little bit late into the game, but STC was only able to send 1-2 dropships at a time. So getting some spine crawlers and spores to help defend your fifth base would be really cool, and make this game a little bit easier for him. But FCC doing a great job with his engagements, just unfortunately not able to get the economy that he wanted up. I mean, his drops were very good. He was hitting from multiple locations. Again, engagements very good, just not able to get that 5th base up, not able to get the 3rd base up with that roach push. Is very unique style, delaying infestors up to 25 minutes, but it worked out apparently. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it. I'm very sorry if I'm rusty. I haven't casted in a very long time, but it was requested that I cast this replay, so I did it to oblige Scary. If you want to follow us, please be sure to follow our Twitter at twitter.com/TeamOptic, and our Facebook is also Team Optic. We appreciate the love and support, guys. Take care. Have a great day.